Welcome back to Software Inc., everybody. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different to all of the episodes that have come before it because I want to try something, well, a little bit different. I sort of have an idea for our new building, our new game studio, and rather than putting it in a time lapse and talking for 5 minutes about the building sort of vaguely, I thought it would be interesting just this once to sort of walk you through the process in real time. And I should probably mention that, I am going to cut out some parts here and there. It's not just going to be like an hour and a half of me building a thing from start to finish and be like, I think we'll put that right there. I think we'll put this, I'm not going to make you watch me place a million computers or anything like that. But I just thought it'd be interesting to slow the build down this one time and see what I can come up with in real time. I don't think I've ever done this before. I usually do time lapses, but I sort of have this idea in my head for what this could look like, so I'm just going to have some fun with it. I also kind of want it to not be raining, so we're not going to be building this in February 2023. What I will do before we start the process, though, is just have a little look that we're not doing anything we shouldn't be doing, or that I, haven't done something when I should have done it. I just want to make sure that everything is coming along here. Obviously, Inbox 1 is going out in June 2024. We're marketing the thing. We're getting a press release together for it. Let's get the press release done at the very least before we get started on this this build project. So if you wouldn't mind marketing, getting that finished, it would be kind of great. Which actually reminds me, there was a comment on the last episode about marketing and about how I need to expand my marketing teams again. I absolutely do, and I absolutely plan to do that. I'm just not sure it's going to be today, because today I really do want to focus on getting a new building together, because I want to get more game teams. I want to get some teams together that can make me a role-playing game. I want to make sports games. I want to make all sorts of things. So that's what we're going to do. And before everybody starts retiring, let's go into build mode. Let's make it daytime, and let's see what we can do with this big old space that we have over here. It's going to be this entire lengthy parking lot that we're working with. And what I kind of want to do is go in and take out a chunk of it. I'm not going to use this entire thing for a building, but I think something like that size for now is probably going to be big enough. I know I said we were going to do something that was more sort of wide than it was tall, but I have this sort of feature thing in my mind, and I want to see if we can do it. So when I put this support building together, I obviously did this whole thing over here where we have, a rectangle sort of offset floors and a diagonal bit over here. I want to take that idea a little bit, and I want to do something kind of similar, kind of different. So we're going to start with a big old 34 by 26 rectangle. And then what I want to do on this side of it is essentially this. And I want that to be just one big space. In fact, I don't want it to be one big space right now. What I want to do is, we'll say, make this into, at some point, some way, somehow, a hallway. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of the hallway is going to be, but it's going to be a hallway, and it's going to be one thing. And then my idea beyond that is that the exterior of this part, which I'm going to put more detail on, and it's, going to look more interesting than this, is going to be white. And then I want this bit to be bright orange, I guess. And I'm going to grab the orange from the Nerdrasoft logo, because I think it's a really nice shade of orange. So we'll grab that. And we're going to make the exterior of this part that bright orange. Now, I know it looks kind of silly, but what I want to do essentially is grab, say, all of this. And have I grabbed all of my buildings by any chance? I haven't. I want to grab, say, all of this, and I want to stack it 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 times, maybe 1 more time. And we have this like big orange chunk sticking out of the building. It obviously looks a little bit weird, but the idea that I had was that we would go and basically put windows on these sections here, And we would do the same on this side as well. And by doing that, you sort of create this illusion of that just being like a wall. It is a wall, right? It's not an illusion that it's a wall, but it's sort of this like weird kind of overhang feature thing. It's like the orange is sort of hanging over this. It is hanging over, but I don't know if it makes sense. My point being, I had this idea in mind with this building. I want this kind of like feature going on here. So that's kind of going to be the main kind of draw of this building, is this big, very, very flat. It is going to be just this flat orange wall, but I need to design the ground floor first before we start copying and pasting things up. And I want to make sure it's an interesting looking building as well. So it's not just going to be an orange feature wall. There's going to be some other parts to it as well. And I think the first of those other parts is going to be just shuffling some sections of wall in a little bit. I was originally just going to do it on this side, which would mean that you would have something that looks like this. And the reason I like this idea is because it almost looks like this bit has been pushed in, which technically it has, but by doing that, you've kind of pushed this section out on the other side of the building. And my other thinking here is that if I was to go inside and I was to say that this was also some kind of corridor, I can technically set this exterior to be bright orange as well, except the difference here is it's not overhanging, it's inset, and instead of the windows being outward facing, what we could do is put a window there and a window there, and suddenly you have them kind of facing the orange thing, but it's kind of the same, it's the inverse of what we're doing on this side. The windows are in essentially the same place, just facing the other direction, if that makes sense. And I kind of like this idea. So I think this is kind of what we're going to roll with. I'm not really too sure if this building is going to have like a reception area or if it's going to be completely just function, but I like this. I like this idea of sort of pushing this orange section through the building. It's just going to be a matter of figuring out what the details are going to be on this side, because it is going to be very, very flat if I don't do something with it. So maybe we go in and we could maybe, you know, angle the corners a little bit. That might not be a terrible idea. Maybe if I make the grid half the size that it usually is, we can do something there. So we could go and say, for example, well, we could cut that off, but I almost like the idea of just trying something here. It'd be nice if I could get this to be a really, really tight angle there, but I don't think it's going to let me. So what if instead we bring the grid back to the normal size and we go in, do that, delete this bit, and we can just sort of do something like that and merge it back together. So it gives us those sort of angled edges, which just ever so slightly makes the building look a little different. It gets rid of a little bit of that sort of flatness that we had going on. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'll go around and I will just chop out all of these corners, except obviously the one that we've already done here. And I guess we'll do these sort of, these sort of angled corners right there. So we'll finish that one automatically and merge. We'll go over here. We can finish this one automatically and merge as well. And then this one, I guess we also want to finish automatically and merge. And I think that looks all right. It definitely makes it a bit more of an interesting shape, I guess. I don't know if interesting is necessarily the word I want to use. It's just a sort of rounded rectangle at this point, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind it too much. We probably do want to figure out where the entrance is going to be. So let's do a little bit of measuring. And this is going to be 24. So the midpoint is 12, which is right there. So what I guess we want to do is go, say, 3 in. We'll go 3 that way and 3 that way. And we'll do a little 3 by 3 here as well. And I think we'll actually just bring that back ever so slightly. And what I want to do is chop those out, and that can be our entrance. In fact, we could, if we really wanted to, chop out these little extra bits here and just go ahead and put them back in with the same sort of rounded corners that we did at the corners of the building. So that right there. And I think that looks kind of interesting. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, we'll select this entire floor. We will duplicate it. We'll move it up 1 and we'll put it right there. And I want to grab it again, move it up another 1 and put it right there. Because my thinking is this is now going to overhang the entranceway, kind of in the same way that the entrance of our main tower does. And I think that's kind of cool. Because what we can do is go ahead and just throw like a nice big glass door right there. Do some nice big glass windows right there. And if we want to do a nice big glass window, we can do it there. And we can actually do what we've done with the Nerdresoft logo. So I can do this sort of thing. I'll go ahead and put a door here and here. So that room is technically accessible. The room itself is going to be completely black on the inside. So something a bit like that. Can I get like a matte kind of finish? I absolutely can. We'll do the same on the floor as well. And basically, we put the Nerdresoft logo in here and we have another display of our wonderful logo. So that is what I'm looking for right there. And that looks okay. So let me grab our logo. We'll get it from this building here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We duplicate. And if I set it to nighttime, you can see how wonderful it looks with the Nerdresoft logo up there. I actually did also extend the room around a little bit so I can put these ceiling lights in the corner to get a little bit more lighting in there. I don't know that they're completely necessary though. If I get rid of them, I think it's a nice touch. I think it's a nice touch having those guys in there. So that's going to be our logo. And that is essentially the entranceway to this building. And to be honest, I'm thinking we're not going to need more than... I'm going to take a chance on 3 floors. I don't want to go too crazy on this. So what I want to do with the roof, I also want to set it to daytime. I want to go up and I want to put this outdoor area up here. So we're just going to use the Nerdresoft sort of preset for now. And essentially, I want it to have the same kind of overhang that I've done on some of my other buildings. So it's going to be something that goes around all of this way. I'm going to just keep it hanging over that larger gap, and there we go. And I think that kind of nicely caps off the building. But I'm also wondering, can I go and maybe put that orange in the fence and not have it look silly? And I think I can. I don't think that looks all that silly. I do think the floor up here is going to need to be some kind of texture because it's a little bit bland up there. But those bricks will probably do the job. I think that's okay. And I think that's all right. It's not the most exciting building. There is going to have to be some stuff on the roof at some point. I'm going to break up the blandness of it. But I think it's a weird, kind of interesting looking building. It has this sort of feature here. It has this like inset part here. And then the front and back, I guess, are going to be a little bit more normal. Or, well, are they? Because I'm wondering if maybe down here should be a bunch of these privacy windows so people aren't able to just like look into what is supposed to be a studio. But then I also wonder, you know, it's the ground floor. Are we going to put any studios down here? And thinking about it, probably not. At the very least, putting some windows on here starts to give us a look at what this thing's going to look like. And it is a weird building, but that's kind of intentional. It is supposed to be a little bit weird looking. So let's just continue some paths around here while we're here and see if we can't just make something that's going to, I don't know, fill up this space, look kind of interesting. I don't really know what exactly I'm going for with this building, but I just want something kind of cool. I just want something that's a bit different. I don't need it to be super advanced and super crazy and, you know, this thing's kind of cool looking. This thing's kind of unique looking. This needs to be kind of functional. I do absolutely need this thing to be kind of functional. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Going for a little bit more function on this one over form. And I know it's a little bit more boring that way, but I think it's kind of essential. I think we need to do this. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to do any typical kind of lobby on this thing, but I actually kind of like how this looks. And it also gives us room for some nice chunky elevators actually inside of the spaces where the orange is. So that works out really nicely for us. And that's something I'm going to have to continue up through the rest of the building as well. So I need to chop out that part and that part, and I need to do the same on these other floors as well, essentially merging these larger spaces into those corners. And we're going to slap an elevator, say, right about, let's see here, and let's see there. And then upstairs, we want to merge these spaces together, and we want to say, well, elevator and elevator. And that should give us a way to get people up and down the stairs relatively, or up and down the floors, relatively easily. We are going to want some kind of stairwell in here as well. And I'm slightly tempted to put the stairwell into sort of this space, so it's kind of an extra thing. It's kind of not, you know, it's more of a fire escape type thing than it is an actual feature. Although I'm looking at this and thinking, if I get rid of that archway and I move that to the other side, so right about there, I could kind of use this space for some kind of stairwell. So let's maybe give that a shot, and let's do, I'm going to do something like, this. It's a weird space. It's a very, very weird space, but it's going to be like a little kind of extra door just right there. And it's going to be for a stairwell. And we'll try and continue that the entire way up through the building, because what we can do is basically what we did in the main building, which is just this dedicated space for stairs. That's kind of all this needs to be, is just a dedicated space for some stairs. So you can get upstairs there, you can get up again, and it's just going to be this little room sort of off of the main entrance. So people can use elevators, or they can use stairs. And I kind of like that. I also like the way we've managed to separate the front of the building from this back space, because it means we can actually go ahead and put studios here. We can put a canteen here. And actually what I might do is, well, let's first off go ahead and just merge those together. What I might do is try to have our canteen be this entire sort of back space of the building, so that what we've got is a more central space. So all of this, for example, is a canteen. We have this central space for development, and I think that's kind of important. I do think that's going to be kind of important. So let's go ahead and do something like this, and that's going to give us sort of this, it's like a side lobby space that can open into what is essentially going to be, I guess this is sort of like another hallway, right? So that goes straight through into a hallway. That's how you can get down to the canteen here at the bottom. But this is maybe also how we get access to studio space here in the middle. So maybe we put our kitchen inside of this orange part. It's kind of an afterthought, really, but we could do that, just a little kitchen of some sort. So if I go ahead and put a double door right there, I think that's okay. Gives us a kitchen. And then bathrooms could be sort of in here. I guess it could also serve as a hallway if we really wanted it to. Or, well, to be completely honest, what we could do is we could try and put some dev space in there. Because if I merge these two spaces, yes, this one technically has its exterior as orange, but you're never going to see it. So we can kind of use all of that space now for development. Bathrooms, we could put a hallway kind of down through the middle and put multiple dev spaces in there. And, well, that does give us this weird space here now, which I don't love. I think this looks a little bit better. We can do some bathrooms in these spaces, which are all going to be uniquely sized, which is maybe a bit weird, but it gives us some bathrooms right off the entrance. It's something we can continue up through the building as well. We have access to a canteen. We have room for a tiny little kitchen there, which I guess if we really wanted to, I could go ahead and expand slightly. It's going to be a bit of a weird shape, but I don't mind that too much. We can take that door out of there and perhaps put the kitchen door at a bit of an angle. So that gives us room for a kitchen, a canteen, nice hallway here, big old dev space. We have room for some stairs in here. We have room for some bathrooms, and that seems okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to try and split this up a little bit. And I am going to say that right down here, we're going to do a wall. And right down here, in fact, you know, we're going to change that slightly. We're going to do an angle. So right to there. And we're going to go right like this as well. We're going to merge those together because it's all still orange, and that's fine. And that gives us room for some decent dev space. And what I can also do here is I can sort of do something like this as like a leader's office. And I can do kind of similar over here with a sort of uniquely sized leader's office right there. And it gives us these nice big spaces for development to take place. And I think that's good. In fact, to be completely honest, what I'm going to do is extend that leader's office a little bit further. So this hallway doesn't end at the edge of the building. Instead, it's going to end, let's say, at this double door here. And we'll put the entrance to this space here. And then for the leader's offices themselves, we can do a door here and a door there. That gives us a little bit of room for, say, a window right here, which I don't know if we want to do that for the leader's office. Maybe some privacy glass instead. And on this one, we can do exactly the same thing. And if we really wanted to, we can line this entire hallway with just a whole bunch of privacy glass. And that's going to give us... It's technically going to let some light through. Obviously, it doesn't, but technically... it's going to let some light through, realistically speaking. Now, something I suppose I could try and do with these spaces is something similar to what I did with the game dev spaces over here, in that I could try and split this into 3 different rooms so that we have dedicated spaces for my designers, for my programmers, and for my artists. Now, it's tempting to do that. It is very, very tempting to do that. But I'm also pretty sure I never actually assigned these spaces to each of those groups, which I think is something I can do. Limit room usage to, yeah, programmers, designers, and artists. So I think I might do that over here. I think what I can do is I can measure this space, which is going to be 23. So if we divide that by 3, 7 and 7's 14, 7's 21. So we could do, what would that be? I guess 8 and 8 is going to be 24. I guess we do 8, 7, and 8. So if I go here, that's going to be 8 across right there. If I go 8 across here like this little space in the middle should be 7, which it absolutely is. And I guess what I could do is throw an archway here and here, and we'll do the same here as well, just to sort of open the space up a little bit. And we can go ahead and say that this space is going to be for, I guess, let's see, designers. The smaller space is going to be for artists, and this space is going to be for programmers. Now, there's no teams assigned to this, but when I assign a team eventually, and in fact, this space here is going to be for leaders. When I assign a team to that, we are good. We'll have space dedicated to each one. So what I can do is go ahead and put the actual little sort of, accessories at the computers to benefit each type of employee. So that should be good. Let's see what we can do over here. It is a different size space. This is 20 across. So 7 and 7 will be 14. So 7, 6, 7. Is what we're going to do here. So we're looking at right here. We are going to be looking at from here. Let's see, 7 is here. So that is 7, 6, and 7. And then what we'll do is exactly the same thing with the arches, just to open it up a little bit. And we'll do, I guess from left to right, we'll do once again, designers. Then in the middle is going to be our artists. And at the end is going to be our programmers. So that's enough space for 2 game dev teams, and I think we only need 4 in total, which is making me think that I might redesign this building and not have that top floor. So this thing might actually be shorter than all of my other buildings. But I kind of like this. I like this layout a lot. Obviously it needs lights, but I actually really like this layout. So let's go ahead and see what we can do in terms of interior design. So for the lobby here, let's make sure the inside, let's do, you know what, let's do some stripes. Let's do some stripes. And let's have those carry throughout the, throughout both of these sections of hallway. We'll do some stripes. And in terms of color, I'm actually kind of wanting to go sort of dark on these walls. Maybe like a real dark kind of blue or something like that. So kind of that right there. It's subtle. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I kind of dig it. I think it's kind of cool. It's a bit different. And then in this hallway, we should probably do the same thing. So let me just grab that color and let's get the style on the inside. And then we'll get the kind of nice dark blue on that as well. And to be honest, blue and orange go pretty well together. There's a reason it's used in so many posters for movies, that sort of cyan kind of blue and orange. It's a really nice contrast. It's a really nice kind of complementary thing going on. So we'll do that. And in terms of the floor, I'm very tempted to go dark, but I feel like with the blue, we should probably go kind of light. I'm actually almost tempted to go for wood. I don't know how good it's going to look, but something kind of that color. And then I guess the floor is going to be a wood texture. I go for the slightly rougher looking one because it just adds a bit more, well, texture to the whole thing. And in terms of color, let's go, I want to say there. Let's say a little bit more. I think about there is pretty good for the color. So let's get that floor sorted for all of these guys. We'll do the same in here. And we'll do the same in here as well. I don't think we use a lot of wood flooring throughout Nerdrasoft, so I don't mind this too. I just changed the exterior color, didn't I? That's not what I'm looking for at all. We want to change that floor color right there. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that at all. So with a little bit of furniture, I think this lobby area looks pretty solid. Actually, it's nighttime, by the way, in case you're wondering, in case you hadn't noticed. It's so I can see what the lights look like in here, and I like it a lot. We've got some security desks here instead of reception desks, and these will be staffed all the time. We have access to the stairwell, of course, which in itself is going to need some lights as well. So let's go ahead and very, very quickly do a couple of warm lights in there just to differentiate it a little bit. And now we kind of just need to do the bathrooms. So let me very quickly come up with a style for this. I think the interior on these guys can be sort of a nice light blue. The floor can be kind of a sort of gray color. And the material on the inside will be this, with the floors being that right there. And that should be fine. In terms of lights, let's just keep it simple. Let's just go for some nice wall-mounted lights near the doors right there, and that's probably good enough. It's very cold feeling in those bathrooms, but that's whatever. I'm not really super stressed about that. In terms of the toilet, let's just put it sort of opposite the doors because that's kind of like a nightmare of mine. The idea that, well, actually, I say that's a nightmare of mine. That's a reality of mine. The bathroom in my house, you open the door and the toilet is like directly opposite the door. So it's terrifying, quite frankly. It's not a pleasant experience whatsoever, because even if you know the door is locked, you're sitting there and you're like, man, I sure hope that door doesn't open, because I'm sat here, you know, just right here, just sitting right here. It's not a pleasant experience. It is not at all a pleasant experience. But there we go. We got some bathrooms in here, so that's sorted. This space back here is going to be a leader's office. This hallway is going to need some lights. So let's see what we can do for that. Let's also chop out this corner part right here. Do we want to chop that out? Actually, you know, we probably don't. We'll move that door to here. And what we could actually do is another elevator, but we could, well, we can actually have it face that way, but that might be kind of silly. What we'll do is just have it face this way. So that way there's elevators on both sides in sort of the same place, just facing the same direction. So we have a bit of symmetry when it comes to the layout of the lights in this hallway, which I think are going to be 2 tiles apart every single time. I think that's probably a good shout, although this is looking kind of asymmetrical right now, which has me a little bit tilted. I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure why it's asymmetrical, but we'll deal with it. We'll also do some lights sort of down through here as well. So we'll go for something that's guess I guess a bit like that. It doesn't seem like enough lights though. Let me space these out differently. Let's just space them out evenly, and that way we should have a nice even light. That's kind of how these things work. There we go. So that's pretty good for the hallway. This bit's kind of nice and bright. And then the studio spaces, we're going to have to put furniture in and then put lights in there. So let's also, I guess, get these things painted because I want to color code them because I like color coding things. So now that the color coding is done, that being sort of blue for designers, red for artists, and green for programmers with a bit of yellow for the leaders because that was the only color I could think of, let's design a great looking desk and then let's just sort of copy and paste the thing. I'll put the accessories on it later on, but just for now, let's see what we can do. I'm kind of liking this one. I do really like this desk right here, and it boosts the environment, so that's kind of what we're going to go for. And I guess what we'll do is we'll put it right in that corner, and we'll go for an ergonomic chair, which will be that one right there. And in terms of the computer, it's going to be the RGB one, because of course it is. But I want to change this a little bit. I want the LEDs to be white, and the base of the computer is going to be sort of that color-ish and that color-ish. Be a little lighter on the keys. So we're going to have white light on a black computer. On the chair, I want to go for sort of that same kind of grayish color there. And on the desk, we're going to stick with white because that's what we've got. And it's nothing too crazy. It's not super fancy, but it should do the job. So what we can do is, you know, that's 3 of them right there. That's 3 designers. We can go and say, you know, put another one there. So that's another 2 designers. We can do 1 and 2 right there, which is so, well, this one probably doesn't need to exist. And we can probably rotate this guy there and rotate this guy to be there. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 designers. Now that's not all that many. Let's be completely honest. We could, if we really wanted to, put a lot more in here. I mean, I could go, for example, and move this guy to here. I can move you to there, and I can move you there, right? Duplicate this. You know, there you go. We've kind of used the space a little bit more, and I might actually do this, to be completely honest, because it is a better use of space. But, well, actually, yeah, we are going to do that. That's exactly what we're going to do, just because it's a better use of space. So we'll do this sort of thing, and that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 designers. So let's copy this and get ourselves some programmers. So my thinking here is 1 and 2, and I can probably get 3 in that mid spot. In fact, let's do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I sound like a music teacher. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's the most annoying thing that music teachers do. I hated it when I was in school. I don't know why. There's just something about that rhythm and like those words with that and 1 and 2 and 3 and it just gets under my skin. It sounds more pretentious than it is, right? It's not pretentious. It's, you know, it is just keeping time musically, but it sounds pretentious. And to be honest, I'm going to say it. I feel like most music teachers that I had anyway in school, they all sort of had like a bit of a snooty approach to doing things. It's like you're teaching high school kids how to play the recorder. You're not friggin' Mozart, man. Like, you don't have to be like, well, you're going to have to, you know, go home and really practice that recorder that you're never going to play again when you leave. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8 programmers. Okay. Let's get some artists in here. So go for something like this. That's 2. And how many am I going to be able to get in here? That's 4, 5, 6. I can get 8 of these guys as well. So we can have 8 of everything on this team. And that's actually pretty solid. I'm kind of here for it. We could probably get a little bit more into this space if we really wanted to, but I'm not really feeling like we need to do that. I'm kind of okay with this layout. So let's go ahead. Let's get some lights into these spaces just to brighten them up a little bit. And I'm going to be honest, I'm actually slightly tempted to get this team up and running before I even finish the building. And I don't know if I should do that. I really don't. But I'm really tempted because I'm kind of excited to see this building like up and running. I think it could look kind of interesting. So what is this? Not enough ventilation. That's fine. So these spaces, I mean, they're looking pretty good. Let's get the leader a nice desk in here. And what we'll do is just sort of throw it. I'm going to put it like here. I kind of like the leader's desk facing outwards. And I like the idea of putting like a TV behind them. I think that'll look kind of cool. And to be honest, I like the idea of putting TVs on a lot of these walls. So that's 100% a thing we're going to try and do, because it does boost the effectiveness of the team. So we'll get one over here as well. We can sort of get one into that corner and that corner. And then what we can do is the same thing here. And I think that's like the only place I can get a TV in here, unfortunately, but that's okay. Let me select the entire building. Let me select all the TVs in the building and make them white, because that's kind of the color that I've gone for. In fact, let's go with the black ones, because we've done white TVs in every other building. So that should be fine. And I guess what I'll do is I'm gonna connect this building to my central heating system. So let's just do this right here. That now connects to the building. That's not accessible, so let's make it accessible. And in theory, if I go in here and I start putting some heating grills, these things should, and they do, absolutely work, because I've got, you know, that central kind of heating thing going on. So there we go. That room has been sorted. This room here is now sorted. This room has been sorted. And we can go ahead and just do the same thing for all of the rest of them. And there we go. We've kind of got the makings of a new studio. And it's a bit weird, but I really like this. We also have people coming and going, because obviously I've not assigned this to teams specifically. But let's go ahead and do that. Let's get ourselves a team. So we have the games team day and night. So what we'll do is rename these guys to Games 1 Day, and we'll copy that. We'll go to this one and rename it to Games 1 Night. And then I want to go ahead and copy the Games 1 team, and it's going to be Games 2 Day. And then Games 1 Night, we'll go ahead and copy that as well, and it's going to be Games 2 and Night. So we now have those two teams, right? We have the two new teams. So what we do, sorry, I had to just say that twice to really make sure that it sunk into my brain. So I want to go to games, and I want to set the Games 2 team to these spaces, which is fine. So that's all for those teams. And I guess we just hire a leader and we figure out what we're doing. So let's have a look at this. So we're going to do 8 and 8 and 8 plus 1 leader. So we want to go to Games 2 Day, and we want to say 8, 8, and 8. Oh boy, there's a lot going on here, but that's what we're looking for. We want to go to the night shift of that, and we want to say 8 across the board as well. And that should be okay. We've got everything else set. Traits wise, we probably want big brain rather than night owl. So we'll get that set up. And the same with the day shift. It's going to be traits. We're looking for big brain and not night owl. So that should be fine there. So now all we need is to get our hands on a team leader. Now, obviously, we still don't have a kitchen and we don't have a canteen in this building, but I want to see this place active. So let's hire some employees. We're looking for lead. We'll look for a designer. It's going to be for, I guess, Games 2 Day, which doesn't matter because there's no one on that team. And we're going to look for HR and automation. Socialization's great, but automation means we can put this team leader to work on automation. So let's begin looking. We're looking for, I guess, you are actually pretty good. Clement Rose. So we're going to hire you, is what we're going to do. And you're going to be in our Games 2 Day team. And then, let's see. We'll go for Cole Neal, who is going to be going to the Games Tonight team. So a lot of games in those sentences, but that's okay. Employees, let's go to roles. We're going to say leader, and you are a designer, and you can do some programming, so that's okay. So that one's sorted. And then the night shift, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the same thing. So we want to go to Cole Neal, change your role, leader, and you are a designer and artist by the look of it. So that's fine. So both of those teams should start hiring people. There we go. So 20 in there, and this one will fill up eventually. And that means that if we really want to, we can now go and set up some project management for some more games. We can get this team working on an RPG, a sports game, whatever it might be. We can get them doing a little something to get us a new game. I'm also thinking that I want to select this entire floor, and I want to select, no, there's no point selecting the other floor. So what we'll do is select this entire floor, and I want to go to room groups, new room group. This is going to be game studio is what we'll call it. So game studio, add selected rooms to that group. So there's 18 of them. And essentially we want to get some security, some cleaners, some maintenance, and some IT in here. And there we go. We've got ourselves some security in here, making the lobby look absolutely fantastic. We should have our new teams coming in the morning as well, which is also going to be absolutely fantastic. So all in all, we have a space that is going to be used in theory anytime now for our new team, which is a little bit laggy when they get in here, but that's okay. They're here. Oh my god, the game is not enjoying the fact that I have so many employees probably across this entire map right now. But, wait, why are you guys just standing around? Oh no. Oh. I wonder, are my programmers and my artists just standing around by any chance? They are. Is that by any chance because these rooms are set up in such a way? Can we allow pass-through on those rooms? Yeah, so we're gonna need to remember to do that, otherwise my employees can't get to their desks. So we need to go to these rooms here and switch team, allow pass-through, and then everyone can get to their desks. And honestly, this looks kind of cool. We've got everyone in their, you know, at their desk, doing their thing, chilling. I mean, they're gonna have absolutely no food for the time being, but that's fine. That's their problem, not mine. Well, that's their problem, not mine. You know what? I'll move these vents, right? I'll go ahead and move this to, not there. Let's just move you again. We'll put you right there. We'll move this one. We'll put it right there. And what I'll do is give them a couple of vending machines, right? We'll do one there and one there. So now they can eat, right? Now they can go and get a snack. And, I mean, to be fair, there is... Well, I was going to say there's a canteen nearby, but there actually isn't. The nearest canteen is probably that building right there, which is a bit of a walk. But anyway, that's fine. That's totally okay. We have 3 security guards just stood at the door. That looks a little bit silly, but I like this. I like this space a lot. So let's manually work on... Oh, I don't know. Hold on a minute. Are we done? This Captain Murderstab update. It is just bug fixing. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's, I guess, manually start working on a new game. So we'll develop the software. We'll go and say game, RPG. Let's just do an RPG or an adventure game. It doesn't really matter. I really don't think it matters. Sports game, RTS, FPS. Let's just do an RPG. It's the first one on the list. And it's going to have customizable characters. I'm going to start this like it is a new thing. So it's not going to have absolutely everything. It's not going to have multiplayer. It's going to be a single player RPG. So customizable character, dialogue trees, a branching story. It's going to be open world. It's going to have physics. It's going to have post-processing and HUD. It is reverse Uno, which we don't need to worry about that. Adaptive music, so, you know, wherever you are in the world, it has music. We have recorded dialogue. Digital exclusive. I like the sound of it. Physical store cuts $24 right now. Let's bring that down and convert some of those sales to digital only. Shadows, facial animations. We're not going to do virtual reality. We're going to do cutscenes. We're not going to do... Oh, that would give us expansion pack options, but we're not going to do procedural generation, and we're not going to do multiplayer. And that's still, without all of the features, that still has 222% wasted interest, but that's whatever. At this point, we're okay. I'm not really too worried about that. Let's make this thing $69.69 because it's going to be a nice game, and it's not going to be subscription-based. It's going to be source-controlled, new framework. It's going to be the... I guess let's just do RPG Core, right? We'll just go simple, RPG Core, 69.69, and we need a good name. Goat Town? Absolutely not. Horse Beans Killer? Oh boy, Grave Town. Ooh. I like the sound of the Grave Town. Although that to me, I like to imagine what my game would be, right? I like to imagine the setting and the story and all of that. So I don't think you could get a Grave Town 2. It needs to be a game. It's a role-playing game that we can expand, you know, with actual expansions, but also sequels. So Thief Town, Army Slam at Night, Gun Killer Light, Baby World in Heaven. Oh my god, some of these names are interesting. The Curse Killer. Hold on a minute. I actually like Curse Killer. That's edgy. That's really edgy. The Curse Killer 2. Oh, that's properly edgy. I kind of like it, but I think let's see what else we got. Monster Killer was a good one. Foot Wars, Kingdom Slam, Dream. Ooh. What about Dream World? That sounds like an RPG. That's Dream World, and then Dream World 2, subtitle here. I like it. Let's just do Dream World. Okay. So the next page, I mean, the 2D editor we're going to use on this is going to be most recent releases. Vector Studio 4 seems like the right one to go for there. The 3D editor is interestingly going to have to be Vertex Studio 3 because I haven't got the 2020 or the 2020 tech level on it yet, but I want to use my own thing, so that's kind of what we're going to do. And the audio tool is, we're going to have to update it, but that's fine. We can do that as well. So we'll do that. In terms of operating systems, we'll go for those two initially, just to keep dev time down. We'll go Inbox 360 as well, because that seems like a pretty good shout. And that's fine. So 3 operating systems at launch. That's no big deal. We can auto balance, but it doesn't really matter. And the lead designer on this, that's going to be a tricky one because we need it to be someone that's not going to quit anytime soon. So Carlo Phelps is pretty good at games. I think Carlo Phelps might actually be our good shout on this. So yeah, let's have Carlo Phelps be the lead designer on this. And it recommends 10 designers, 13 programmers. So we don't have that many in these dev teams, but I guess we can technically put 2 dev teams on this. So actually, yeah, I think we'll be okay. Let's just do games 2, and we'll do the same down here as well. We'll go for games 2 and hope for the best. No publisher, just develop it, and it might take a while, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. We're going to make a new game, we'll automate it eventually, and everything will be beautiful. And eventually we can go ahead and get, you know, another dev team over here working on a sports game. We're going to have a lot of games coming out. That's the goal. I want games coming out every single year. Oh my god, so many people just retired. I hate seeing that so much. It's always a miserable time. I mean, I don't mind paying them. That's obviously not the problem, but the problem is just so many of them. Just so many of them at once leaving the company. It's really... it's just kind of miserable, really. It's also still terrifying to think that it's not that long until myself and the other founders up and leave Nerdrosoft. I'm kind of hoping we can cross that $2 billion threshold before that happens, but we'll see what happens there, I suppose. Now, Enphone 4 is ready to go into development, so let's get that going. I'm going to bring the priority way down, though, because we want to focus on Inbox 1, which thankfully is very nearly done. It's kind of just the hardware team that needs a little bit of programming help on that one. So I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not too worried. I think it's going to have what looks like nearly a year of beta time. I would almost be tempted to push it into beta right now and give it a year of beta. Hell, I would be tempted to push it into beta and release it this year, 6 months early, release it in December. But that seems like a little bit of a risk, and I don't know that I want to do that. I don't want to put out the Inbox 1 and have it be terrible. Although, to be fair, putting out the Inbox 1 and having, oh my God, stop retiring. Oh my God. What I was getting at was putting out the Inbox 1, and having it be average at launch would be on brand. However, Horse Simulator 10 has just lost its lead designer. Who can I give this to? Cole is the newest one, but is Cole good? Cole might be good. Okay, I suppose it is also a game dev that's now leading the horse sim thing, so that should be okay. It is the lead from Game Dev 2 leading Game Dev 1, but we'll not ask any questions there. Hopefully Horse Simulator is going to be okay. I'm also really thinking that I would like to see this hardware progress go a little bit quicker. So if people would stop retiring, that'd be great. Let me just have a look here, because there are some hardware programmers on the 2D team. What's interesting to me, I guess, is that if we have these like hardware guys, you would assume they'd all be helping out, unless they're all assigned to only work on their own sort of tasks. Definitely a weird one. It is definitely, I mean, I know I need to educate my hardware team a little bit. That's kind of obvious, but it'd be nice if they were just a little bit less terrible. Also, how are we doing in money? I feel like we're not really making much. Yeah, 1.4 million is kind of grim. Our sales are down to 15 million. I don't know that I love that. I also just noticed we have a lot of research to do here. So we'll finish that. We'll finish that as well. I think someone got to it before I did. That's fine. This Captain Motorstab update is taking forever, so let's try and prioritize that, please, so we can perhaps, you know, get it out there sooner than later. That's, oh my God, stop retiring. I'm just waiting until it says that one of my founders is retired. I'm also kind of concerned about this little number, because that means that one of my leaders retired somewhere. So support night shift, yeah. After 18 years, the support night shift leader, and also, oh, we already dealt with Sarah Huffman. So support night, wait. No, we didn't. That's games, oh, games 1 night needs a leader, and Jamie Walters of support night. So games 1 night and support night need leaders. Oh boy. Okay. Games 1 night is what we're looking for. So let's see if we can find a new leader here. You will do Elma Johnson. So you're hired. Let's go to games 1 night. Sort by years with company. Elma, congratulations. You are going to be the leader on that team. And then it was support night, I think, that needed a new leader as well. So hire employees. We're looking for support night. We'll begin looking. And we have Marcia Rivera. Congratulations. You're going to be the leader of this new, not the new team, but the new employee, the leader of the old team. So there you go. So that's all sorted. We got some new leaders in. They'll be with us for, 15 or so years. We'll have to replace them at that point when they retire. Or if they die sooner, then, replace them sooner as well. But that's, we'll not talk about that. Let's finish this. Finished researching 3D in the 2022 tech levels, now available for future development. Technology has already been researched by competitor and cannot be patented. Oh. Well, that's disappointing. Whatever. We'll not worry too much about it. Let's market this thing with a new press release and a press build. Please. We are so close to getting it into beta. I'm actually very excited about that. And Dreamworld is nearly done with its first iteration as well. Okay, well, that's not bad. Are all of my game dev teams full? They are. 25 people on both, and then 22 and 22 there. Not bad. Not bad. I'm feeling kind of good about this. I think we should probably go ahead and try and get another game dev team in here. I think we're at about that point. So let's just very quickly grab all these desks and see what I can do, because I can get a few of them here, and I don't dislike the idea of getting a couple of them there. So we'll do that. We don't have a door on this side, so what we'll do is a little something like this and this. We'll swing it around there and there. And I guess we can go, so what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can go a little higher on this. We can go 8, 9 on this. Arguably, I could get 10 in there if I just move these down a little bit, which I don't really mind doing. So we'll do something like this. In fact, we can go for 11 programmers on this one, so we can put that right there. And I guess we'll try and go for a decent number of artists as well, although looking at it, I am pretty confident it is just going to be 8 of them. Although, generally speaking, we don't tend to need too many artists. Also, looking at this, I could get more. I absolutely could. I could shuffle this all over, and we 100% could get more artists in here. We'll do it if we need to do it. For now, I'm not going to. And then in here, we'll do this. We can do this and this. So that's 4. And then if I go to here, we can go 1 and 2. So I think we're going to get 8 designers by the looks of it. Maybe 9 designers if we put one right there. And I don't mind that. It's a little bit of a tight gap to get through there, but that's honestly okay by me. And for the leader, we'll just go ahead and do exactly the same thing we always do. The desk's going to face the door. And we can detail this space. I actually haven't gone around and set the little accessories by the computers yet either. So let's detail these spaces. We'll get some nice, lights and stuff in here as well. We'll get the accessories in, and we'll get ourselves another 2 new teams. So there we go. We have all these desks in here. We have all the little accessories as well. I did, however, forget to put the phone in for the leaders. So we'll very quickly do that right there. And speaking of leaders, that means we need to go and get some leaders for 2 more teams. So manage teams, we'll go to games today, and we're going to copy it, and it's going to be games 3 day shift, and then we're going to do the same for the night shift. We're going to copy that one as games 3 night, and we can go ahead and assign the team to these rooms right here. So switch team. It's going to be games 3 with pass-through already on, which is fantastic. And now we need to do some number crunching. So we're going to have 11 programmers. We're going to have 8 artists, and we're going to have 9 designers. So if I go to those 2 teams, we want to go to HR management, and it was 11 and 9 and 8. So 11, 9, 8. We want to do the same for the night shift, so 11, 9, and 8. And then we just need to find a leader, and we're pretty much good to go. We can assign these guys to work on Dreamworld, or if we really wanted to, we can kind of start working on another game, which is kind of what I want to do. So let's not bother with compatibility. Let's just begin looking, and Tanya Reed is probably who we're going to go for on this one. So games 3 day. Congratulations, I guess, Tanya. And I don't really like the idea of either of these 2 being bad, but I don't think it's too big a deal. So games 3 night, you're hired, and we'll go ahead and get those 2 assigned to their leadership positions. So manage roles, you are now a leader. And on this one, manage roles, you are now a leader as well. So those 2 teams should start filling up with people, given a bit of time. It's going to take a little bit, because obviously we are hiring a lot of people, but that's okay. And that's good. So we should, tomorrow or next month, September 2023, we should see some people come in and start to fill up these spaces as well, which will be lovely. Oh boy. There's the old list of people retiring again. I don't like it. I really, really don't like it. I also don't like that we're not making that much money. That has me really nervous. Oh, this thing is so close to being done. There we go. So we have this team in here. I'm not sure where the leader is, but we have a team in here, which is better than not having a team in there. Looks like we have enough parking as well, which is good. So for now, Well, actually, no. You know what? We're not going to assign them to Dream World. We're going to make another game. So, game, we did an RPG. We're going to do an adventure game now. And it's going to be... Oh, I don't know. So in my head, Dream World is going to be something like, I don't know, Elden Ring or Dark Souls or Bloodborne. It's that kind of RPG. I don't know if those are RPGs, really. Those are more Soulsborne. Or Souls, is it Soulsborne? Whatever it is, Souls games. There's a word I'm looking for, I can't remember it. But they're that kind of game, right? I don't think they're not so much RPGs. I guess it's more of a Dragon Age. Or a little bit of Cyberpunk in there, if I dare say that game's name. I liked Cyberpunk, man. I'm just going to say it straight up. I thought it was great. I had a great time with Cyberpunk. Anyway, this adventure game, I feel like it's not going to have a customizable character, because here's the thing. I think it's a linear story. It's like an Uncharted, or like well, yeah, it's like an Uncharted. So we'll do dialogue trees. We'll do, I don't know, we'll do a branching story. We'll do physics. We're not going to do open world. Post-processing and HUD is great. Adaptive music, sure. Dialogue, yes. Digital exclusive, yes. We're going to do all of this. We're going to do cutscenes. We're not going to do procedural generation. We're not going to do multiplayer. So it still has a lot of things people are interested in. It still has a lot of wasted interest, but it's not going to have everything. And this is just going to be the adventure core, so ADV core, which looks like advanced core, but whatever. This is also going to be $69. We'll just do $70 flat. It is source control, and the name of this thing, Grave Show in Space, Army Gangs in Heaven, Skate Beans. Skate Beans? Good lord. Okay, Baby Wars, Dream World. I don't think so. Towercraft, I don't know. I need a good name here. I really should have at some point asked for game name suggestions before I started doing all of this, but, well, here we are. I've got the name you already know of Indiana Jones, so now you're going to be meeting Mississippi John. That's what we're going to call this adventure game. Mississippi John. That's the name. That's what I'm sticking with it. That's going to take approximately 3 years to develop. That's fine. Good old Mississippi John. All right. I love it. I love it. Okay. Vector Studio 5 on this one. 3D editor is Vertex Studio 3. And the audio tool is going to be Amplitude Studio 2. All right. Operating systems will be these guys and Inbox 360. And that's okay. Next page, a little bit of auto balancing, and lead designer can be Theron Singleton. Good name. Good name. I'm sure it's the name of his father. So Games 3 is going to work on this one, and we can get Games 3 working on this one as well. Apparently I missed one on this. Missing a level 2 3D artist. That's probably fine because at the moment we're still hiring on all of these teams, so I'm not too worried about that. Catherine Romero. I guess you're like the only person that can lead this up, so sure, you can lead that up, and that'll be okay. I'm not too worried about no one being competent. We'll get there, and everything will be okay. So we're gonna start working on Mississippi John, and it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be great. Good old Mississippi John. So I think it's only fair that before we get done with today's episode, we go ahead and we get ourselves a bit of a canteen here. So let's do a little bit of design. I swear I can speak. This has been me for the last couple of days. I've been doing so much like GTA roleplay, which, by the way, I talked about that in a previous episode of this series, and I mentioned, like, I want to say, I'm not trying to promote this. I'm just trying to talk about like a little something that I'm kind of into and that I really enjoy. And I talked about it in a previous episode, and like a lot of you kind of came and checked it out. Like I just wanted to say I appreciate that. I know it's not for everybody, but you know, some of you kind of went over to the streams and were like, oh, this seems cool. And I know some of you have actually like started to come into it and play it as well. So it's kind of cool bumping into people that like Obviously, you don't say that you know me because it's a roleplay server and you're playing a character. Anyway, the point is, I appreciate that some of you came and checked it out a little bit, and I know it's not for everybody. What I'm getting at, though, is I've been doing a lot of that lately, and I've been speaking a lot because it's what you do and it's how these things work, and I've just been like tripping over my words, man. I need a vacation. Is what I'm getting at. I need a vacation. I need to like go somewhere where I don't have to speak. I can just lay like in the, I would say in the sun, but I'm more of a lay in the shade away from the sun kind of guy. But anyway, I need to go chill. That's what I'm getting at. I need to like just go and chill somewhere for a bit and be like, oh, this is great. Just don't have to speak. Don't have to say anything. It's like my favorite. It's my favorite way of being, to be honest with you. Just not speaking, not saying anything. Just sort of there. Just kind of existing. Also, what's going on with this? Why is that table being weird? That is really odd. I don't like that. I don't like that it's doing that. I wish it would stop, to be quite frank. I'll tell you what though. Let's just go for like a kind of a decent looking canteen here. So we'll go for the usual terrible chairs because I said decent, not insane. I'm not spending a ridiculous amount of money on good chairs for a canteen. But I'm just gonna do something like this, right? So just a bunch of tables kind of down the middle. And I guess if I wanted to, I could line some tables across there. I could line some tables across here as well. But I don't know that I want to do that. I'm going to be honest. I think what I'll do at most is grab this, duplicate it, rotate it, and sort of slap it there. It's a little cramped looking, but I think that's okay. We'll do a serving table here, and we'll do a serving table. Actually, you know what? We'll not do the serving table. We'll do what we did elsewhere. We'll get rid of the serving tables. We'll go for a couple of glass tables. So one, not there. I want to grab that one, and I want to rotate it that way. We'll do the same here. We'll do the same up at, we'll do here and here. And I guess we could probably put some serving tables kind of in the, not serving tables. Oh my God, these rotations are going to be the death of me. We'll do a little bit of this. And I think that's okay. I don't think we need to go too crazy with making this canteen super, you know, I don't think there's going to be so many people here that we need to go more than what we've done. So let's do this and this, this and this. And this and this. And that should be all right. I'm going to leave that center one blank because, to be honest, I want to put like a plant or something on it just to make it look a little different. I also want to do, I think, some TVs in here just to break up the space a little bit. So a couple of TVs there. We could probably do one on that wall as well. And we could do one there, but I'll do it here instead. So that looks all right. We can do some paintings or some pictures in these walls. We'll go for the computer and we'll go for the cat because I love the cat. And that's basically going to be the canteen. I suppose I could put some chairs at the ends of the tables, but I think this is probably good enough. So in terms of lights, we'll just put them between all of the tables like that. I guess we can put them sort of at the ends as well. And we'll do one there and we'll do one there. And that's probably going to be bright enough. Yeah. That is absolutely bright enough. So that's our canteen. We'll go ahead, we'll limit usage to canteen, and now we just need some cooks. So we'll go into live mode, we'll go to manage staff and go up to wherever my cooks are. There they are. And what we'll do is we'll hire 1, 2, and 3. We'll go to these 3 and say you guys come in at 8 in the morning. In fact, you guys can come in at, let's say 7 in the morning. We'll assign you to the game studio, which is this space. We'll go 1, 2, and 3. We'll have you guys come into the game studio at, let's say, 12 p.m. is probably a good shout. We'll go 1, 2, and 3. And we'll have you guys come in at, say, well, yeah, let's say like 5 p.m. So 17 there. You leave at 9. You're going to be assigned to the game studio as well. So there's a few hours towards the end of the day when there's no one there. So maybe we do 19, maybe we do 20. So they come in at 8 p.m., leave at midnight, and then the rest of my staff leave at 1 in the morning. So you guys can, let's see. So game studio 7 till 11, 12 to 4. maybe you guys come in at 1 o'clock instead. So there's a little bit more of a spread there, and that should mean that all of my employees can get some food in the game studio space. And that actually completes this floor, which is great. I actually love how this floor has turned out. I think it looks great. So that's really, really cool. We should have some cooks come through at some point. They can do their thing. Inbox 1 has a press release ready to go, so we'll push that out. And I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm actually quite pleased about this. Let's patent that. I don't know if we actually got it or not, but that's okay. Still got some research going. Mississippi John is doing his thing. Dream World is coming along slowly. We finished a print job for we finished a print job for doors too. Oh God, it's April, isn't it? Oh my God. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous about that. So hold on a minute. So we have Doors 2 and Horse Simulator 10 coming out next year. Oh man. Oh man. And we have Inbox 1 in June of 2024. So hold on. April is Doors 2. May is Horse Simulator 10. June is Inbox 1. Oh boy. Oh, next year is going to be a big one. Next year is going to be next year is going to be something. Is what next year is going to be. Let's see. Accept all of those and close. That'll be all right. Not really too worried about that. You know what I am worried about is I'm worried about my founders. I'm worried about my founders leaving. Because let's have a look here. Years with company, 40. So there's still 63. That's good. That's nice. Let me look at my details. So I could change my name if I wanted to. Oh man. Oh, it's a little. I'm a little like I'm getting a little bit worked up. It's silly, but I don't want the founders to leave. They've been with us for like 44 years. It's ridiculous. They've been here for 44 years and they're gonna walk away with like $500 million each. Well, nearly $500 million. I really should have probably got around to buying those shares out sooner than later, but that's too late now. Let's go ahead and get some hosting onto all of those deals so people are going to be happy with me. I do still have to be careful that I don't accidentally sell my products or something like that. That would be kind of a nightmare. Accidentally selling all of my IPs because they're, you know, in the in the various categories and whatnot. But let's also get some windows there. There we go. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm actually also thinking it might be kind of cool to I don't want to put a door back here, but just a little bit of detail on the building or something, you know? So something kind of like this. And then we can go and delete that room. And I'll probably do the same up here as well. So this right here, delete that section. And I think it's kind of cool looking. Just, you know, something to add a little bit more detail to the outside of the building. Just a bit like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think what we'll do as well is just throw the these windows up top as well. So we kind of carry that pattern up through the building. And it adds a little something to the canteen. It gives us room for some vending machines or whatever we want to put in there. But this is now its own thing. This building is... This entire floor, at the very least, is now completely functional. And that's pretty cool to me. I've got to be honest. We also got some research good to go. Let's go ahead and start trying to patent that. And see what happens. How are we looking for everything else then? So... Oh, I'm paying attention to these retiring notices in the top left. So it's in beta. It doesn't have many followers. That's terrifying. That's probably because, yeah, marketing's not doing amazing. Oh my God, Stabby Face. Stop marketing that. Good Lord. Vertex Studio 3, stop marketing that. Amplitude Studio 2, stop marketing that. That should actually make my marketing teams a little more efficient now that they're only marketing a handful of things. At least you would think so. You would hope so. I'm also realizing this is due out in like 6 months and still isn't in beta. Oh boy. Oh, now this is interesting. We are actually losing money as a company for the first time in a pretty long time. So here's what I'm thinking. I think we look at our releases, and I think we try to get some things updated. So, Vector Studio 5, for example, there is apparently already an update in progress for it. That's news to me. Okay, well, that's fair enough. Horse Simulator 9. I mean, there's a new one coming out soon enough, but I guess we'll update that. Doors. I'm just hitting update on these, and oh my god, there's so many bugs on that. I think it might have been automatically getting worked on there, but let's, sure, we'll prioritize that. Captain Murderstab 7. I guess I kind of want to update that, because the next one isn't out for years, right? Yeah, 2025, so next May, next June? Okay, yeah. So we'll bring the tech on this up to date a little bit. I'm not, actually, you know what? No. Vertex Studio, let's start with, no, actually, let's start with, where's my last 2D editor? Vector Studio 4. Let's update you to the highest tech levels that we can get. And that's going to be system and 2D. So 2D right there, systems right there, updates right there. So we'll go ahead and do that. We didn't source control it, but we should be all right. And then we can go and update amplitude and vertex is what I'm thinking there. So that should be good for us. That should get us a little bit more money, perhaps. I'm not too sure. I am a little concerned about this doors update, because what this tells me is we might have never updated doors, because it's got like 2,500 bugs in the thing. So did I never update you? Update cycle is how long after release to continue releasing updates? How long after release to continue releasing updates? Is that how often to release updates in months is 3 months? How long after release to continue? See, what I'm wondering is, are they going to wait 40 years? I don't know how that works. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little confused on that one, but it'll be all right. I'm sure it'll be all right. We'll just go ahead and bring this doors update priority down a little bit so we can do the vector one sooner than later. And I guess we'll just see what happens. You know, I'm an idiot. It's right there, Vector Studio 5, and I'm down there updating Vector Studio 4. Ah, man, sometimes I amaze even myself. My genius is, quite frankly, terrifying. I am thinking I'm going to update Vector Studio 5 sooner than later, so we can get the updated tech out there, which I should then be able to put into Amplitude Studio 2. So if I bring the systems up to date, I bring the 2D up to date, I bring the audio up to date, I think I can use Vector Studio 4 for this. So we'll do that, and this is going to be systems, 2D, and audio on this particular update. We'll do source control, of course. We'll throw that up there. 3D editor, Vertex Studio. There isn't a fourth one right now. The next one is due in 2027, so we got a little bit on that one. So we'll do the same thing here. Systems up to date, 3D up to date, and that is going to be no 2D, no audio. It is systems, updates, and 3D, so we'll get that updated as well. And again, updating these things in theory should bring us a little bit of money, because updating the software updates the tech, which, you know, gives people more reason to use it. Whether or not that actually happens, I don't know, but we'll see. It does look like we're making, yeah, we just went from less than $1 million to over $1 million, so I'll take it. We're back, you know, we're heading in the right direction with our money now, which is what we're wanting to do. Now, speaking of the right direction, we are in April 2024. Doors 2 goes out this month. And then in May, next month, is Horse Simulator 10, followed by Inbox 1. I am slightly terrified about this, but the Inbox 1 is the last big update. It's the last big release, I should say, for the, not for the company, but it's the last big release, I guess, for my character, because it'll probably be the last thing that he leads as a lead designer, which is sad, to be honest. It is a little bit sad that that's kind of where we're at with the company, but you know, this had to come around eventually. This had to happen eventually, so we'll see what happens. Let's just April 2024. any second now. Doors 2 should go out the door, and I'm just hoping. I'm hoping it actually gets released, to be completely honest with you. There we go. Is it good? It's mediocre. Oh, it's worse than the first one. That's depressing. Okay. Bring the tech levels all up to date, please. Because it is astoundingly miserable looking, this thing. So let's see what we can do. Network, please. And then I guess did I just select all teams? I did. Oh no. All right. Let's do that all again. So we're doing 3D, network, systems, updates, 2D, and audio. And I think that's everything. So that's okay. 12 teams, that's fine. Update, and absolutely a priority on that one. I'm not thrilled that it's mediocre, but whatever. It's fine. We're just gonna have to deal with the fact that it's mediocre. At least we're gonna be putting out a console that in theory should be amazing. I'm also thinking Doors 3 2027. Somehow I don't think so. Let's go for 200% development time on that one. And, you know, hope for the best. Are we gonna make money? Are we gonna make it? No, we actually somehow made less this month. Oh no. How bad was it? It literally didn't sell. Oh no. Oh wait, it did. Hold on. It sold 66. Nice. There's no active users. 66 people bought it and then thought, well, this is terrible. That's great. Okay. End marketing on Doors. And let's start marketing Doors 2 with like a $400,000 budget, please. And we'll see if that goes well. Fortunately, no active users should mean no reported bugs. Right? That's how that works. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right. Well, it's May. So Horse Simulator goes out this month, and hopefully it's going to be better. It can't be worse. I mean, it can objectively be worse than mediocre, but hopefully it isn't going to be worse than mediocre. That's kind of the goal here, is that we're looking for better than mediocre. All right. Horse Simulator 10. It's outstanding. It's got unavoidable marketing. That is what we want to see. Let's start printing this thing. Let's say a maximum 250,000 copies. And on Doors 2, we want to do the same thing as well. So start printing, and we'll say like, 100,000 copies for that one. We'll go a little bit less because I don't think it's gonna be all that popular, to be completely honest with you. But that's good. That's at least something going out that in theory is going to be popular. It's going to be successful because people like Horse Simulator, right? In theory, that's what we're told. Let's end marketing on Inbox 360 as well. And again, my marketing teams, really, I do need to expand them. I do need to make them better. But just for now, let's just see what happens. Let's see where we're at. Horse Simulator 10. It brought our profits up a little bit. A couple of million. I'll take it. That's not bad. Not as profitable as I would have liked. But that's okay. I'm not super upset about that. Also, surprisingly, Doors 2 wasn't that expensive to make. I guess that kind of makes sense, given that it was a 2-year turnaround. Marketing is losing tremendous amounts of money on it, but honestly, once the update goes out, I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, it is June of 2024. The Inbox One is going out this month. So let's just get it done. Let's just release the thing. The controller, 5, 5, and 4. Marketing that's a color code, $250,000. And the console is not as good. No one can afford it. Interesting. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do then. Let's immediately go in. It's $399. Bring it down to $329. We'll go for $329 on the price. And we're going to try and immediately update this thing. And hopefully I can get this done in a reasonable amount of time. We need to throw the hardware team on this as well. So the hardware team's in there. Approximately 2 years for this update. I don't love that, but that's okay. Let's try and prioritize that, I guess, over the Doors 2 update. And hopefully that can be a thing. Updating Amplitude Studio. This patent is good to go as well, so that's lovely. Looks like it's going to take a minute. Is it good? Inbox 1 is outstanding. Prominent marketing as well. Okay. Okay. I feel a little bit better about that. Hopefully there's enough units in stock for it to, you know, actually do well, but we'll see. Let's make that a top priority. Doors, I just ended marketing on Doors. Well, probably not the worst thing I could do, but I do want to keep it going for marketing, so we'll give it like 250,000 as well. And we'll move that up towards the top, at least above Defender, with like a priority of 8. So we'll see how that goes. We got our big releases. We put a lot of things out in 2024. We built a new building. We got 3 things out in 2024 so far, and that's probably all we're going to put out this year. But that's not bad. I'm actually not terribly annoyed with the fact that that's all we got out. I'm a little annoyed that they weren't great. I'm a little annoyed that they perhaps didn't sell very well, but I am at least happy that my character and the founders were here to see the release of the Inbox 360, and the Inbox 1. So I'm pretty sure that as January 2025 gets closer, we are likely to see those characters retire. It's going to be sad. It's going to be kind of miserable. Although we did just make 10 million on Inbox 1. Nice. I'll take that. That's what we want to see. Horse Simulator 10, making some money as well. Let's get that thing ported to absolutely everything. Active users, let's just go down the list. Inbox 1 is right here. So we'll go down as far as Inbox 1. And I guess that'll be okay. Vector Studio 5, we can port that as well. We'll go to these 2 systems. Horse Simulator 9, we're still porting 8. Oh no, we are still porting 9. Okay, can I add more systems to this port job, please? Absolutely can. So Inbox 1 right there. And that'll be good. That'll be good. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. What did I just see? Captain Murder Step. Oh, it was $500,000. I thought that was for a second $528 million. I was going to be really confused. Okay. I'm quite content with where Nerdresoft is right now as a company. I'm going to be honest. I'm also aware that this episode is super tremendously long. That wasn't intentional. And I realize with what I just said about Nerdresoft being, you know, here as a company and me being happy, sounds like this is the last episode of the series. It isn't. I want to finish this building. I want to get more game teams, and I want to start just kind of doing the final optimizations on the company, because we are getting towards the end. I said it in the last episode as well, and I kind of mentioned, let's restore everything as well. I mentioned how I'm actually kind of tempted to go in and sort of almost immediately do another Software Inc. series, because I've got some ideas for how I can make things more efficient. So still might do that. Still considering it. Still thinking that's something I kind of want to do. But we're definitely getting towards the end for old Nerdresoft here. I just want to make things, you know, as good as they can possibly be, because we're not done yet. I also want to see what happens when I want to see what happens when the founders leave. I'm kind of curious. I've got absolutely no idea there, so we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what happens. Let's get this research going through. No, that's fine. We're gonna have to do more research, but whatever. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I realize I'm talking like this is the outro of the video, but there's sort of a way we do outros in this series. And before we do, I kind of want to update Inbox 1. Although I'm kind of worried that it might take so long that my founders retire. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, oh man, I'm really nervous. I also want my $2 billion. We're so close to that, actually. 15 million on Inbox 1. Oh man. Oh, we just had another team leader leave as well. Who was gone? Who did we just lose? Contract marketing just lost their leader. Okay. Let's, service, compatibility, I guess, marketing. Was it contract marketing day? It must be night, right? It's gotta be. Contract marketing, night. Yeah. Okay. Begin looking. We'll go for Mira Hale. And we'll get that team updated just a little bit. So contract marketing, night. Manage roles. And Hale, you right there. Okay. So we'll take out those roles as well. And we'll make you a secondary on that one. So there we go. That should be sorted. That should be everything good there. These updates down here are taking forever, but they're gradually getting there, I guess. Okay, so even though I haven't managed to get the Inbox One update out because my hardware team is useless, and even though we haven't got Dreamworld into, well, alpha yet, or Mississippi John, even though Vector Studio 5 and Horse Sim 9 and 8 and 10 are all still being ported, and even though none of the updates have really gone out, and even though this episode has been ridiculously long, and even though we're looking down the barrel of all of my founders retiring and taking most of my money with them, there is some good news, and it makes me kind of happy. We have passed $2 billion in the bank. So we are, of course, already a $2 billion company, but we have $2 billion in the bank now, which is kind of a big deal. It's also terrifying to note that these companies are also over $1 billion now, having only been founded, 8 years ago. And then 16 years ago. That's slightly terrifying. That is, I don't love that. I don't love that at all. These guys especially, 85 products in 16 years. Did they, oh yeah, they didn't invent all of those. They absolutely did not. They bought most of their everything by the looks of it. Well, fair enough. I guess they might have subsidiaries. I don't know what's going on with these companies, but we have $2 billion in the bank. So, next time we're going to have to finish this building. We're going to have to keep making money. We're going to have to get a lot of these releases going. We're going to have to get the team in a good place. Amplitude Studio 3 is October 2029. It's 5 years away. Good Lord. Okay. Well, I'm okay with that. We're over $2 billion. That's, a lot more than I expected out of this. So as the sun rises on a grateful universe, we can go ahead and leave it there for today. There is still work to be done with Nerdrasoft, but it is a little bittersweet that we are, like I said, really looking at kind of being done with Nerdrasoft. We've done about everything we can do. The founders are about to retire, so the next episode might be the last, if not then probably the one after that. But of course, I have mentioned that I kind of want to do more Software Inc. kind of sooner than later. And I'm also kind of considering bringing back Transport Fever 2 because I have a really cool idea for it. And as always, if you have any suggestions for what you would like to see on the channel, do leave those in the comments below. And that can include ideas for the next Software Inc. series, which I've seen a few people suggest already should be modded. So let me know your thoughts on that. We could do a bunch of modded stuff in Software Inc. and see what exactly we can do and what we can achieve. I don't really know how many mods are out there for this game or how in-depth they go, but I would be kind of excited to look into it and find out. I should probably also take a second to talk about the two buildings that we built most recently. The hospital-looking one is not on the Steam Workshop. A couple of people have been asking why. For whatever reason, it just will not upload. The game gives me an error every single time I try to do it. And the building that I put together today is not going to be in the workshop yet because it's not finished. It's probably going to evolve a little bit because I don't love the exterior of it yet. But just stay tuned. I will let you know if and when they both appear. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I know this was a long one, but I had a lot of fun with it. I really like the real-time stuff just from time to time. I'm not going to do it forever, but just from time to time, it's kind of nice. Thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.